Hello everyone, welcome back to Covetous Imp Gaming. Today I want to talk about my opinions on the latest OneD&D release that covered Druids and Paladins. Please like this video, leave us a comment below about videos you'd like to see in the future, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you're alerted to our future content, and check us out on Facebook and Patreon. Those links are down below. So I think when these Unearthed Arcana come out, I think that people really take what's said and compare it to the norms now. And they try to pick apart the things that are really wrong with everything going forward, and they don't look at the things that maybe are wrong with D&D in 5e. So the overwhelming response when this UA was first released was that the sky was falling, Druids ruined, Paladin will be changed forever. And I really disagree with all that stuff. I've been a forever DM for what feels like forever now. I've played in one session of one game in like 5 years. And other than that, I have strictly just DM'd. And I've seen a lot of people try to make that Barbarian Druid multi-class work. And it never works. It is really slow getting out the gate. You're either a mediocre Druid for a long time, and you take levels of Barbarian when it's way too late, or you're a Barbarian, and you really hurt yourself by starting to take levels of Druid just before you get your first ASI. And either way, it really just always keeps you way behind the power curve until you finally get to this point where maybe you get to achieve a little bit of greatness by raging, wild shaping, having a huge pool of bonus health that is doubled effectively because you're also raging. And it sounds great on paper, but it takes forever to get to the point where you actually start to see a positive return on it. And this change that they made to Druid did away with the fact that you're going to have that pool of bonus health. Whatever you choose to wild shape into gets your health, whatever health you're at. So if you're at half health, the bear that you turn into is also at your health. If you're down to 19, that bear has 19 hit points. You don't get to wild shape into something that has 42 health when you were at 1 health, and now your enemy has to whittle through those 42 hit points just to deal that one last hit point to you. I think that that's fair, and it also kind of gets Druid away from that wild shape is my go-to. Not that that's how every Druid plays, but I think that Druids have a lot more healing and utility than people actually try to get use out of. Most Druids that I've seen have done the wild shape route, and only seldomly have I seen someone outside of like Circle of Spores. I think I had one player that played Circle of Spores and was really just all about the spore life. I really think that changes like this really take Druid and bring it back to that Swiss Army knife utility class where if you need a heal, boom, I got you. If you need terrain manipulation, boom, I've got you. If you need me to step in and tank for a little bit, boom, I've got you. And that's all great. I think having that range in your toolkit is a good thing. One thing I would add about the Druid is I would like to see them maybe using wild shape as a get out of some condition, the movement restricting conditions. Like if you're restrained, wild shaping into a mouse, you're just going to climb over someone's shoulder and be out of that movement impairing effect. So next up is Paladin, and Paladin's big complaints from people were that you can only smite once per turn, and you can smite with a ranged weapon now. So I think that a rogue can only sneak attack once per turn, and I think that those big bursts of damage, you are really chunking something down if you're smiting multiple times around, and being hasted makes it even worse. So having only one smite per round seems fair. The other thing was the ranged weapon attacks. And I think people believe that Paladins will just become a ranged class. And I really disagree with that. I think that the play style and the RP of a paladin is that defender of the people. That front line, I need to be full plate, a shield, and some melee weapon smiting my foes. That being said, I think that the tides of battle can turn very quickly if you are fighting against, say, a lich, and the battle is really could sway either way, and the lich decides to misty step away and go its full movement. Now it's got bare minimum 60 feet between your melee people and the lich. So you're at least a dead sprint away. You're wasting your action to catch up to the lich. And that really can sway the side of battle. I know if I was playing a lich and I was low health, I would do everything I can to get as far away from that paladin as I could. And at this point in the game, that lich would know very well what that paladin's capable of doing. And it would be well within that lich's mindset, because monsters know what's happening. Monsters know what you're capable of. And the smarter the monster, the more knowledge they have of what you're capable of. That lich is going to want to do everything it can to put as much distance as it can between that paladin and itself. But if the paladin was able to just drop his sword on the ground, drop his shield, pull out a bow, and loose an arrow and smite, that seems right. Give me this one last shot to vanquish my foe. That sounds right. That doesn't mean that your paladin's going to hang out back with the wizard and say, hey, we're neighbors now. Because, and again, let's use that lich as an example once again. If that lich sees that smite is coming from next to the wizard, you best believe that fireball that might have just hit the wizard is now hitting both of you. And the amount of damage that is going to come from those big AoE attacks are going to be one more if you've got that range between, your range is at max range and your melee is in melee, you've got a hard choice to make. Do I want to hit those casters that are doing a little bit of damage to me, or do I want to hit that guy that's smiting me? Do I want to stop that guy that's smiting me? And putting that guy that's smiting me next to those casters that are doing moderate damage to me every single turn just makes it so that is an easy target for every AoE that I want to do. So in closing, I just want to say that I don't think I've seen a bad change yet. I think that they're giving a lot of these things a necessary facelift. It's been a long time. People have found ways to abuse certain things. They are introducing things that could newly be abused. But all in all, I think that I haven't seen a bad change in OneD&D yet. Like always, your feedback is what kind of paves the road for whether or not something becomes an actual change. So make sure that you do that. And you've only seen 6 out of what they've said is going to be a total of 48 subclasses that OneD&D will launch with. So more than likely, there's going to be something out there for everybody if OneD&D is the game for you. But ultimately, I think that, again, you're seeing very early on. This is only 4 phases in. I think that eventually you're going to start to see these UAs release with, this is what we're really pushing forward for Druid now that we've tested the initial form of Druid or Paladin or whatever. I think everything will have a final push with all their testing material for their 4 subclasses will release as a packet. So please leave me a comment below about your opinion about these things. I base my opinion solely on what I've seen happen at my tables in the past, with 5e and the shortfalls of these 2 classes, and specifically that one subclass of Druid. Thanks for watching. We appreciate all the support, and we'll see you soon.